Hi everybody, Rubber Mold Man here. This video is going to be a little bit different. Normally I know I do videos about techniques for painting or making statuary, but I need to explain a few things that's been going on with my family. And I also want to show you something later in the video that I'm actually really excited about regarding our molds. But first I need to give you a little history. For those of you that don't know, my family moved to this country in 1970. They started a little statuary shop right alongside Route 66 back in the day that grew to be quite a large business over the years. I grew up doing it. My brother grew up doing it. He eventually went off and did his own statue and mold business. And a few years ago, I started selling my molds to the public because we learned how to make molds for our family business. When I started my own business, my goal from the start was to keep it a small family business, primarily due to obligations I had taking care of disabled family members. Despite being a small business, however, we built it up so that in the last few years, we averaged about 80 to 100 mold orders shipped out every single month. Now that's a ton of molds, which requires a lot of work, supplies. We were able to do it. You know, we'd get a little backed up from time to time when we'd have a bunch of orders come in or a bunch of orders on the same items or that, but for the most part, everything was fine. However, last year, our family was dealt several blows in a row that have caused some problems. So I want to go ahead and, open up to everybody and let you know what's been going on. It all started on the day when I lost both of my parents on the same day. Both deaths were completely unexpected. They weren't connected in any way, and it was just an absolute shock to me. That whole situation almost destroyed me, both mentally and physically, because 3 days after they died, I was in the hospital almost dead. My heart was giving out. It took weeks to recover. I lost weeks of work. Then after that, the whole situation put me in a horrible depression for months. And it was miserable. And I'm managing better now on that, but it's been a trial. Other than me, I've had a couple of our kids have some medical issues. They had to be, put in the ICU and surgeries. And then my wife, she had a cancer situation that required 3 different surgeries with painful recoveries. And then on top of everything else, she was hit in an auto accident, which injured her to where she had trouble even doing any work for several months. And even to this day, she has trouble just managing, some basic everyday functions. So all those personal problems caused a huge backup on our molds, but we kept moving forward. We're like, we're going to do this. However, along with all that, we also had to deal with the stinking supply shortages that were happening all around at that time. And it was making a real problem. Just one supply after another, we'd have trouble getting that. So it added even more backup on our workload. So over the summer, we had the idea that we were going to switch our business over so that we only sold ready-made molds. Now, for the last couple of years, we've had a section on our website where we always had a few molds that were already made that you could buy. Didn't have to wait for them to be made. There was no backup on them because there were multiple orders. Our customers have let us know that that's what they like, that's what they prefer. They don't want to wait for the molds. We thought that was a great idea. Problem was, we had such a backup on orders that had to be our priority. So I have not been able to really get ahead on those ready-to-go molds. But I came up with an idea. Years ago, I was experimenting with an idea for a fiberglass composite material that could be used for the molds I made for myself. I toyed around with it, had some success, but I never stuck with it. I decided to go back and experiment a little more to see if I could perfect it. So after some testing, experimenting, a few setbacks, I'm glad to show you this. Now, I admit these look drastically different than the traditional molds that you see, but I will let you know these are quality fiberglass and rubber molds. Now, this material that I've come up with here, it meets all the requirements I have for a mold. It is lightweight, it is easy to use, and it is extremely durable, probably more durable than traditional fiberglass, if you can believe that. We've literally been throwing these against concrete walls just to test them. And they're easy to use because they have just a bit of flex in them. You can't bend them, but they'll flex just enough so that when you go to undo your mold, these just fly off and you don't have to do that, working hard to get them off like some molds have. In fact, everybody I've shown these to, everybody has preferred these over the traditional fiberglass, not just because they're easy to use, they also love the finish on them because these cure with kind of a shiny finish that makes them nice and smooth. On top of that, and this is the most important thing, these are considerably faster to make and cure than the traditional fiberglass molds. And there's less waste, by the way, which is also a plus. But because I can produce these faster, what this means is from this point on, we're going to be switching over our production to these kind of mother molds for our molds. We are very excited about this. We think we may have stumbled upon an actual superior material here, and because it's faster to make, it's going to help us get on top of things. So if you have orders that you've been waiting on, very likely it's going to come with this kind of backing for it. We'd love to hear some input from you folks to let us know what you think of it. But because I can do these faster, I'm going to be able to get back to my normal old-time, mold regiment where I could get those molds out in large quantities, which means I'll also be able to start making them for the ready-to-go selection. So our goal at this point is that by the end of this year, going into 2023, we hope to switch over our website to be primarily ready-to-go molds for sale. There'll still be a few you can order, but that's going to be like specialty items, like large lions or bench sets. But for the most part, our standard mold designs will be available only as ready to go, so there's no longer going to be a wait, there's no longer going to be a backup, and it's going to make our lives easier, it's going to make our customers happier. We know that for sure. And speaking of you, our customers, I just want to take a moment to thank you for sticking with us. I know over these past few months, some of you have known something's been up, so we figured it's time to kind of clear the air. And I want to thank you for your patience, because I know some of you had to wait an extra long time. We've had a backup on certain molds because we've had multiples of that same mold and we can only do one at a time. And with everything going on, it was just getting very stressful. So this is going to help. We think for the first time in a long while, we're feeling very positive about things. I'll just put it that way. So I wanted to share this with you, let you guys know what's going on, and thank you. Now, that's it for the personal stuff. Next video is going to be back to, some tips and that. In fact, the next video is going to be showing you how to make a mix from beginning to end. But again, if you have any questions or concerns, my contact info is beneath this video. And until next time, thank you.